A family in Providence unleashes their dogs on ABC6 reporter Abbey Nizgoda. Now, Abbey tried to talk to the mother of the teen shot at a graduation party not long after a 16-year-old turned himself in for that shooting. It was at that point when that woman set her dogs on the attack.
How do you feel about that? A simple question, and this is the response we get. Are you going to throw rocks? We were on a public street in Providence to get reaction from a mother after the man accused of shooting her teenage daughter at a graduation party had just turned himself in. A 16-year-old has turned himself in. Okay, that's good. But Melissa Lawrence turned violent herself. Are you going to throw rocks? First comes the rock.
Give me my bag.
Barely missing our photographer's head, scraping his arm. We think the interview is over and we're about to leave. Instead, Lawrence comes out wielding a baseball bat. Why are you attacking us, ma'am?
Get away from me!
Then she sicks her two dogs on us. One bites my forearm. Then I take off running, dropping my mic as they chase me down the street, biting and scratching. Eventually, I make it to a backyard 3 houses down. Lawrence finally calls her dogs back.
Come on, Zayna!
But not before cursing at us one last time.
And get away from my house! You dumb white Put that on!
In Providence, I'm Abbey Nizgoda, ABC6 News.
Now, I do want to let you know that Abbey was on public property the entire time. She never went in her home. She was attacked on the street. Abbey had to get a tetanus shot. A police report has been filed. There is a warrant out for Lawrence's arrest. Mark Jackson attacked by dogs while covering a story. Both have minor injuries. Abbey had to get a tetanus shot, but both she and Mark are okay today. They were at the house of Melissa Lawrence on Public Street in Providence to get her reaction to a 16-year-old turning himself in for shooting her daughter, 16-year-old Niezgoda. Niezgoda was treated at the hospital and released, but that interview quickly turned violent, from throwing rocks to wielding a baseball bat to sending her dogs after Abbey. Lawrence even shouted racial slurs, despite the fact that Abbey was on public property the whole time. And now Lawrence will be in court this afternoon. ABC6 reporter Mark Curtis is live outside Providence District Court with more on the charges Lawrence faces. Mark?
Doreen, good afternoon from downtown Providence, where we have now had some major legal developments in this case. A short time ago, we learned from Providence police that the suspect in this case, Melissa Lawrence, is in fact going to be charged with 2 counts of felony aggravated assault, 1 count each for the rock attack on ABC6 News photographer Mark Jackson, and the other count of assault for sicking the Pitbulls, the vicious animals, on ABC6 reporter Abbey Nizgoda. Those are the only 2 charges so far. It is possible there could be further investigation and more charges filed in this case, but suffice it to say that Melissa Lawrence will be in court at 2 o'clock for her arraignment here this afternoon at Providence District Court, and at that time we will find out what, if any, additional information or charges might be filed in this case. We'll be here live at ABC6 News at 5 and 6 with further details on that. Now, for more information on this story, ABC6 reporter Alexandra Cowley has been out talking with animal control officials about that part of this case.
Mark, thank you. You know, a lot of the response has been what's going to happen to the dogs? Who's at fault, the owner or the dogs? Well, we sat down with Pawtucket Animal Control Supervisor John Holmes earlier today, and he says cases like these are exactly why the city banned the breed years ago.
She ordered the dogs to go.
Pawtucket Animal Control Supervisor John Holmes watches the video of the violent encounter ABC6 reporter Abbey Nizgoda had with Melissa Lawrence. Abbey was attempting to get reaction from Lawrence about a young man turning himself in for the shooting of her daughter. She didn't get a comment. Instead, she was attacked. You can see Lawrence throw a rock, then comes out bat in hand, followed by this.
It appears to me to be a clear case of assault with a dangerous weapon. She ordered those dogs to go.
The city of Pawtucket banned pit bulls in 2004.
In the dog, we always blame the people. And here's a clear example of somebody not abusing the dog maybe, but sending the dogs out to bite. And that's what we were having in the city of Pawtucket. What could have happened to her? You know, Pitbull has 2,400 pounds of pressure per square inch. Had they got her down on the ground, it could have been a lot worse.
Now, those dogs will likely be quarantined for 10 days. From there could be a vicious dog hearing, which could range from anything from the dogs being muzzled to being euthanized. Now, we want to mention both Abbey Nizgoda and our photographer, Mark, are okay. Obviously, they are shooken up, but they are doing just fine. Of course, we will have much more on this developing story coming up tonight on ABC 6 News at 5 and 6. For now, we are live outside Providence District Court. I'm Alexandra Cowley, ABC 6 News.
Gonna throw rocks?
Give me my bag.
Two ABC 6 journalists attacked by vicious dogs while covering a story, and tonight, that dog's owner under arrest. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Karen Myers. John DeLuca is on assignment. The woman who sicked her dogs, part pit bull, on our crew is now charged with 2 felonies. She caused another commotion today during her first court appearance. We hear from ABC 6 reporter Mark Curtis, who's live at Providence District Court. Mark, what happened in court today?
Well, it was interesting what happened in court today. We'll talk about that in a bit, Karen. But boy, oh boy, this has been the talk of Providence for almost 24 hours now. It was all over talk radio today. It was the chatter on the street, the chatter on the internet. The story even went viral last night after it aired on ABC 6 News at 11. Well, now the suspect is formally charged. 35-year-old Melissa Lawrence was in district court charged with 2 counts of felony assault. Her public defender tried his best to shield her from our cameras, but there is no mistaking what she did before our cameras Tuesday night.
Ow! Get away from my office!
As seen in the video, Lawrence threw a rock at our crew, threatened them with a baseball bat, and finally sicked her dogs. A legal analyst says Lawrence could face prison time.
Using a rock, using a bat, using dogs to attack somebody, that could be significantly serious.
Come on! You know you're breaking the law right now.
ABC 6 News reporter Abbey Nizgoda was treated for dog bites, and news photographer Mark Jackson suffered an arm injury when he was struck by the rock. The crew was trying to interview Lawrence about a shooting at her home earlier this week that injured her daughter. Lawrence was released on $50,000 personal recognizance, but could forfeit her bail if she gets in trouble again.
She can get out on the condition of her good behavior and keeping the peace.
Away from my house!
Even though Lawrence was released, she could still face additional charges beyond the 2 counts of felony assault. And let's talk a little bit about that, because Melissa Lawrence's dogs, they were nowhere to be found today. We're told that animal control went to the house to investigate and potentially confiscate those 2 dogs and could not find them. So if they are being deliberately hidden by Lawrence or someone else, there could be more criminal charges relating to that. Now, meantime, ABC 6 reporter Abbey Nizgoda continues to recover from her injuries. The dog bite she received last night, she has already gotten a tetanus shot and is being followed up on that. Photographer Mark Jackson is recovering for some lacerations to his arm when he put it up to block that rock that was thrown at his camera. That's the latest live from Providence District Court. I'm Mark Curtis, ABC 6 News. Karen?
Hey, Mark, before you go, I wanted to ask you about Melissa Lawrence's demeanor in court today.
Well, I tell you what, there was a little bit of a dust-up before the judge came into the courtroom today. Her public defender went over to confer her, and she yelled rather loudly, "Are you serious?" And at that point, the bailiffs come over, and they said, "You've got to calm down. This man is here trying to help you. No more outbursts." And from after that point, she quieted down. But there was something that clearly upset her again in courtroom, Karen, and she clearly didn't want to be there.
And she was even sending people a message with the shirt she was wearing, I understand?
Yeah, she wore a shirt in court today, a very bright pink shirt with the saying, "My attitude is your problem." Not the kind of shirt you want to be sending, or bumper sticker you might want to be sending to a judge in a courtroom. He didn't make any reference to that, but clearly judges don't take too kindly to that kind of thing going on in their courtroom. She can't be sanctioned for it, obvious, but again, she said, "My attitude is your problem," and a lot of people think that kind of sums up her attitude in this whole story, quite honestly.
Probably doesn't sit well with the judge. All right, thank you very much, Mark.